Hello, my name is Linda, and I am part of Two Crones and a Microphone, and I'm here to show you an instructional video on how to create a sacred bathing space for yourself. And you're here looking at this on YouTube because we've done several wonderful episodes on the sacred meanings of water, rituals with water, how to relate with water. Now, here's something you can bring into your own home, and that is going to be easy and clear to follow. What is sacred bathing? Sacred bathing has been going on for thousands of years. Anytime there's water and humans or other creatures, there's always the opportunity for attuning with the water and being able to use something for relaxation, for healing, for self-care, for medicinal purposes. There are all kinds of reasons that people dip into water. What we're going to go into here in this brief video are several ways that you can help yourself to have a different relationship with water in your own home. We're going to show a little ritual here. Ritual comes from the Latin ritus or Greek rio. It means to flow, run, rush, or stream. And so what's a ritual? It's a little practice that gets repeated. You might call it a ceremony that puts us back in touch with the stream or flow of our life's energies. Libations are liquids, water, wine, tea, distilled beverages poured with sacred intent to honor and bless the giver or intended one. And just briefly, water is so significant to us all. Without water, we perish. Water holds and magnifies the vibrations and that we add to it. So just like a gong creates a reverberation of sound when struck, water will magnify a song or spoken phrase. It picks up energetic intent when it's sent to the water, and that might be love or healing or clarity. Just think of anything that you might be wishing for or want to intend to be part of your water ritual. I want to encourage you to be a little bit free form with this. There's no one way to do it. There are thousands of ways to approach this. This is just one easy, simple way to proceed. So in many cases, we might approach water with an offering, which it might be a song or a phrase. And again, you can ask the water to magnify your intention and broadcast it. All water's connected, remember. It's recycled. It'll eventually reconnect with itself through the cloud, the earth, the water systems. And in my teaching over the years, I've discovered that all the water goddesses are connected as well. So where do we start? Well, let's start with water, shall we? Here's a beautiful pitcher that was handed down in my family, and I filled it with water in advance. I also have a lovely bowl here, which I'm going to use as an example. You might use this for a nice hand soak, or a slightly bigger bowl would give you a nice option for a foot bath. There are many ways to go about this. So one way is if you have a bathtub, you can steep various herbs in a tea bag or in hot water, and you make that tea and simply pour the water after you strain the herbs out into your bath. But here is a good-sized tea bag, and what I like to do is I like to fill a tea bag like this with a variety of herbs, and I happen to have some handy. One of my favorites, rose. And again, organic is best because it's best not to have pesticides if you're going to be doing this. And I might put like a tablespoon of rose petals in here. If you have rose buds, you can certainly use those. I'm very fond of a floral foot bath. You can use savory herbs as well. Here's some French lavender. And so I'm taking a pinch of lavender and adding that. Oh, it's so fragrant already. It's wonderful. And lavender is both antimicrobial And antibacterial also has that fragrance and the effect because it's so relaxing. I'm going to add some salt to mine because I think salt is a wonderful cure-all. I won't add a lot, maybe a teaspoon of salt. Salt also holds a charge or intentionality because it is a crystal form of crystal. So you can, we're going to bless this in the end, and I'll show you how that happens. I have another thought for you here. This is more in the savory herb idea. We would drink this as tea, actually. This is lemon balm. And lemon balm, or Melissa officinalis, is one of the best herbs I know to gently lift the spirit without getting us excitable and yet relax us and put us in good harmony at the same time. So we're going to take a pinch of lemon balm here. And again, it doesn't have to be much. It can be just a tablespoon. Doesn't have to be a whole big bag. I'm adding that. And now I'm also going to add some hibiscus flowers because they're very relaxing. They're also really beautiful. And for these purposes, I get very pragmatic. You can use a muslin bag as well. You can use cheesecloth. You can use anything if you want to keep your herbs captured. I'm going to show it to you both ways. Many people prefer to have the herb captured here like this. So now, if you want to add any other ceremonial objects, here I have a beautiful crystal that I particularly like. And I'm going to add this crystal into the basin here so that you can see there's the crystal and the tea bag in here now. And now I'm going to add just a drop of lavender essential oil because, again, that lavender relaxation effect is really important. And here we go. Here's the water, and we'll add the water. You can add more or less water depending on the depth and what you plan to use it for. Now, spiritual bathing has been around for, as I said, thousands of years, 10,000s. And so it's a very nice idea to make sure that the that your bath is going to be infused with your intention. And so one way to do that is to rub your hands together, and that sensitizes your palm chakras or energy centers. You'll find that your hands feel a little bit warm. You're going to hover. I do it with a triangle shape like this. You're going to hover your hands over top of your water and your basin. You can do this over a bathtub, over a foot bath, over a little hand bath like I'm preparing here. And what I go for is I go for a feeling of fullness or a feeling of um, pulsation. And what I'm adding in here is just the thought of love, love. And so in my mind, it's even better if you can sing it. Love. And then once I'm done and I feel like that water has sort of filled up with the essence of love, I was taught to circle 3 times sunwise or clockwise and then break my hands apart. And there we go. We have charged water. You might be able to see that it's actually turning the water just slightly pink now. And you can see that the herbs have been immersed in the water. There are a few that are exiting the tea bag here. These tea sacks, as they're called, are really wonderful. They're a very large size. They're designed for use with a variety of things, including, of course, making tea. Um, so there are so many ways that you can go about this. Another way to activate water is to simply run your hands in a figure 8 through the water like this. And I often do this in a bathtub because it really helps refresh and recharge the energy of the water itself. And so, you do this. This is the infinity sign or the lemniscatic figure 8 that is useful in a lot of different ways to combine energy. All right, now this bath is ready to go. You can do, of course, many other things. We did add a pinch of salt. There is a practice for doing salt bathing, which you've heard us describe many times on Two Crones in a Microphone. And we just learned how to do the charging with our loving intention and energy. Use the affirmation to love for yourself. And this time, you can do this with water, not only sacred bathing, but water you plan to drink as well. We'll go into that in a moment. But you can say, I dedicate this water to my loving transformation. You can make up your own affirmation, but there's a suggestion. I dedicate this water to my loving transformation, or to bless me in this day, or to help and to heal. There's so many ways that this can be blessed. I want you to be aware of Dr. Masaru Emoto's work. He was a New York Times bestselling author, The Hidden Messages in Water. He was a Japanese scientist who's since crossed, who did groundbreaking work actually using frozen water, flash frozen water crystals that were that he took photographs of in various states. And he showed that, for example, just as we did with this water, when you project or sing or say or think or feel love and gratitude into the water, it begins to refine the character of the water itself. Here's another example to the right here. You are beautiful. And the water on the bottom is rather unstructured of the three, and that's because it hasn't been blessed. It hasn't been in relationship. So once again, I want to invite you to follow this or other simple practices to establish a sacred bathing ritual. It can be done in a variety of ways, so many ways. And if you're interested in really diving in to spiritual bathing, I think there's no better book than Spiritual Bathing, The Illustrated Guide to Spiritual Water Rituals. That is a worldwide resource. Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, Shinto, Mayan, African, Native American, Japanese bathing, one of my favorites. And here you go. And it's by two outstanding authors, Nadine Epstein and Rosita Arvigo, who I have actually personally been fortunate enough to study with a couple of times. So here we are. All the resources you need in order to transform a bowl or your bathtub or any bin of water into a sacred way to both cleanse and help yourself and to relate with the spirit of water itself. Until the next time, go find your glimmer and be well.
Hi, if you're enjoying Two Crones and a Microphone, please like this video and hit the subscribe button. Enjoy timeless wisdom from modern times, all served up by women in the know.